Is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. I wanted to go ahead and start this broadcast early enough to show you the beauty and majesty of creation here at the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier, also known as the location of the Prince Resort here in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. You got the Truth Mobile here. Feel free to add Bible.com to comments face-to-face, Facebook worldwide. I want to show you something here. As you look at my reflection, you can see that I'm going to be recording with the P1000 as well. That's one of the reasons why I don't respond to comments in real time. I've got quite a bit going on here with that. So it's 50 degrees right now here. Pretty spectacular day. Much lower humidity because of that temperature differential, and of course the moon is high in the sky. Here come the blackbirds right on time. They do it almost every morning like this. The tide is coming in and up. We're at about mid-tide right now. We've got a structure above the face of this stationary and level earth. It's called the firmament, separating the waters above from the waters below. It's just what it does. So we live in a contained environment, a created environment, created by the God who authored Scripture through men. Men that were moved by God to do that. I linked the video playlist that I have with just approaching over 3,270 some videos now. You might find interesting, a catalyst for consideration. See what you can come up with on that. One of the reasons we can't see Europe is because of moisture. And I'm going to zoom in on some of that humidity right there. We can't see the beach right in the middle of the zoomed in view with the P1000. Sometimes because of fog, I can't even see my hand in front of my face here, okay? So I'm not going to deal with the hypothetical what ifs. There were no moisture. We've got moisture. Do you know how much a gallon of water weighs? Well, that depends on the temperature. That drives the water cycle of the world, the evaporation, condensation, and precipitation in all its forms. Rain, snow, sleet, fog, hail. Water seeking its level powers the world, basically, with electricity. Seeking to escape its vessel, pressurized by heat, creating steam. Zoomed in on the moon, clearly not a sphere. It's an odd shape. I've got video and photographic evidence to prove that the moon is not a perfect sphere. That doesn't prove the shape of the earth, it just proves they're lying. And I can zoom in on it so close that if we left a rover or a flag up there, I could see it. We didn't go to the moon. Other countries aren't landing on the backside of the moon, so we can't see them. I'm watching. Show and tell, baby. I'm showing and I'm telling. They're lying and I ain't buying. Those little building blocks of speech I put out there for your convenience as well. You can look at the hashtags on my Facebook page. If you hashtag my name and you want to copy and paste the result of that, feel free to. You could go to a library and do that if you want. But here's the thing, we all get different results based not only on our previous search history and where we shop and what we think and do and say, it's also based on what the artificial intelligence wants, where it wants to lead our perspective. Seeing is believing. What? What do we see and what do we believe about it? I'm showing you right now that's a localized sun moving above a stationary and level Earth. That hot spot in the view is because it's local and small. Where the sun and the moon appear and vanish and their duration of visibility can't be explained by the global deception. It's just a fact, Jack. I don't argue with people on my threads, on my posts. Sometimes I have to just outright block them if they're too obnoxious. I want to thank my friends for taking up for me when haters come on by and try and school me on how stupid I am, or we are, for believing that we don't live on a globe. We know we don't live on a globe, many of us. I've got thousands of hours of copying and pasting, Command-C, Command-V, putting the link of my liked video playlist, selecting a video out of that playlist carries the whole thing with it. I talk about it. One of the hashtags I have is a rather verbose one. It was the only result for it. It didn't exist until I made the video. Shared millions of times through my liked videos playlist. I'll probably put that on all my videos eventually when I can get around to it. I want to communicate a very powerful reality that we can have a pretty far reach in this world filled with so much deception. Okay, now I'm going to zoom in and it'll show up. The advantage of being backed way out is you can see, I'm going to wait until it just peaks on the horizon. So if you're watching the live Facebook recording or broadcast right now, it'll be turned into a YouTube, and then there's an accompanying P1000 video to go along with it. The local sun is exactly that. It's a localized luminary, as is the moon. The sun is masculine, gives off its own light. And of course, we knew that, but the moon gives off its own light as well. It's a cooler light spectrum, and moonlight is cooler than the shade from the moon. That is so obvious that that's not 1.5 million Earth sizes and 93 million miles away. It wouldn't look like that. No matter how bad you wanted to be an astronaut, or believe that your grandpa or your dad worked at NASA and sent people to the moon, I'm sorry. Or you may just love Jesus and believe I'm a deceived individual. Well, whatever. You're going to have to be born again no matter what you believe, or you won't even see the kingdom of heaven. That's how it is, best I can tell. I thought I was born again in 1982 until I actually was in 2014. That's disturbing. Okay, here we go. It's showing up. It's burning through. It's coming right towards us is what it is. It would be perspective, folks. That's what we're looking at. Perspective. There's a lot of water between me and that where the sun is actually breaking the plane. And that water is moving. We've got tidal activity here at the beach. We can't see through much water, whether it's a wave or humidity. Now, some of my videos I don't talk at all, or much. And I'm staying out from in front of the camera a little bit more. You know what I look like, or you can find out if you want. I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. You can go ahead and mute this and open up another window if you just want to look at the beauty of this. I do have a pretty powerful message to tell you. Artificial intelligence is creating a kill grid all around us. You need to wake the heck up. We're living in like a Terminator, Skynet, Matrix kind of thing. Look at DARPA, the official military program, the CIA, Facebook and Google and Amazon, which are all wings of the same bird of the corporate controlled beast system that's about to put the kill on a whole bunch of people. The Georgia Guidestones, they're not kidding. They're serious as a heart attack. I'm telling you, get your house in order, because none of us might have much longer to live in this world. I don't know. We're all eternal beings having a temporary human experience. I used to say 3 people per second no longer have that experience. I didn't realize that there are over 42 million babies aborted worldwide every year. So roughly 7 people per second no longer have the human experience. How about that? Where do they go and why? Where will they spend eternity? Well, all of God's children will absolutely be born of His Spirit. That's for sure, and that's forever. Well, that's pretty fabulous. Where's the edge? Well, the firmament, as far as we need to know, that's in Genesis 1. Works for me. NASA lies, so I can't trust them. They don't always lie. When they're telling us about their autonomous flying planes, and in that they're telling the truth, or high-speed aircraft, an SR-71 going 2,193 miles an hour, doesn't have to take into any consideration curvature or supposed rotation of the Earth. Hello, you put your thinking caps on. Check that out. This message isn't for everybody. A lot of my friends are wide awake to all this. It may be a wake-up call for the people I share it to at the groups, but keep in mind the haters at some of the dedicated globe deception groups, they may be chatbots, nodes on the artificial intelligence. How can I know? I can't. I don't know. There's catfishing of humanity. There's a cybernetic collective being brainwashed with the false reality. For gosh sakes, water exposes the impossibility of the globe. It doesn't stick to a tennis ball, a beach ball, or the big spinning water ball that NASA says they went up to space and took a picture of it. The space NASA's concerned with is between your friggin' ears. Wake up. Did you know how much a gallon of water weighs, or that temperature matters? I get people that hate on me on my channel. I had to go ahead and mute somebody because he was just being too obnoxious. He said I was too stupid to call him, or not to chat back. I said, call me anytime. If you can't find my phone number, you probably can't find your arse. I'm telling you, people are hateful, and I just don't mind serving back a little dose of reality for them. I don't fit into anybody's box that I've ever found. Not that I'm looking to jump into a box. I've had people tell me I'm odd or eccentric, or I'm just wanting to help wake people up and help them to realize, help you to realize that reality exposes the impossibility of life on a globe. We don't have upside down wind chimes, plumb bobs, people walking, talking. Here, let me take the treasure hunter, flip him upside down. Does that look possible? How about the people walking? Does that look possible? How about sideways? None of it would work. That's the reality of that. We don't have the upside down world. I remember it sounded odd when I was a child. It didn't make sense to me. And they said, well, gravity, Sir Isaac Newton got hit in the head with an apple and proved that we live on a spinning water ball hurling through space. Not buying that crap anymore. I've had enough of the science fiction. How about you? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put my mug on there. Mad as hell, and I'm not taking it anymore. How about that? Howard Beale from Network. There's predictive programming all over. Elections, the illusion of choice. You have no choice. You have owners. George Carlin had a pretty raw sense of humor. However, he did help us laugh at our enslavement, right? That's part of the construct. Is that comedians help us laugh at the emperor enslaving us. Well, I'm saying the New World Order is the mark of the beast system. It's the beast system. There's a kill grid all around us. Have you ever heard it in military terms? They're in the kill zone, in the kill box. That's all of us, folks. We're all there. Now, I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. I was a dead man walking and didn't know it, and then when I was born again, the me that I was died. The reason I struggled with addiction in the flesh is that's all I had. All I had was my human nature, and then God sovereignly reached in, gave me His Holy Spirit and a love for the truth concurrently, and a desire to do what He created me to do. How about that? So we've got the treasure hunters, the beach walkers, the dog walkers, just the beauty and majesty of this. About 20 million people came here last year to see this out here. And then I've taken people from all over the world here. If you want to drop a comment where you're watching from on any of my stuff, ever, that's cool. Every notification I get turns into an email. I've got about 250,000 emails, a lot of approval, and yeah, people love me. People love to hate me. It all works for me. It all works for God's grand purpose. I'm zoomed in on the moon pretty tight. I'm going to go 125 times now. Come on, baby, focus in. The video I did last night, I zoomed in on a star. Pretty cool. So I'm going to say this very succinctly, where the sun and the moon appear and vanish on the horizon, and their duration of visibility is completely obvious evidence that they are moving and not a uniform rotation, supposed rotation of the water ball we're told we live on. The sun moves across the water like a laser beam. Look at that. So I produce a lot of content. Each one of them is a billboard for the truth. Check it out if you care to. Or not. Either way, it works for the overall purpose. This is not sales. I don't get a commission on somebody waking up because of what I do. I'm not earning my way into heaven. That's already been determined. I'm just enjoying the ride of inviting other people to come on along. Seek the truth with all your heart. It's going to require divine intervention. You're not going to be able to figure this whole thing out yourself. The gospel is foolishness to those that are perishing. I understand the Bible is circular logic. Works for me. How about for you? Is there stuff you want to stop doing, but you don't have enough power to stop it? That was me. I couldn't stop doing the stuff that I knew I should stop doing. I needed more power. So I've been taking people's pictures out here for decades. They would hand me their camera and say, "Can you take a picture of us?" I'd be walking on the beach. Now, yeah, that happens too, not as much when I'm doing a live broadcast or a recording. Good morning. And yet, quite often, people will come up to me. I'm approachable, that's why. If you want to call me, that's fine. Even if you've hated on me. There was a gentleman yesterday on my live feed that thought I was faking it because I wasn't responding to comments. I messaged him. He deleted a lot of the comments. I said, feel free to exercise your First Amendment rights of free speech and delete any of those comments you don't want there anymore. And he knocked a lot of them out. I think he might have missed a couple, but I'm not all upset with them. So even people that have been hating on me, if they want to call, that's totally cool. Good morning. You can let people know I don't hold a grudge. I just have to I will not let somebody take over my platform and turn it into their podium for deception. The mouthpiece of the corporate-controlled media got that covered. Brainwashing humanity with a false reality. So I'll talk to people. Wow, I'm gonna zoom in on waves that I see breaking way down there, probably 5 miles away. See the splashes on the breakwater there. So I'm going to give you a heads up on a couple of things. I've got video this time of in the summer, the sun comes up in the middle of the view for both cameras. In the winter, it'll come up way over in the middle of the view there, or so. Where I live is about 7 miles away in the middle of the view over there. And we're less than 20 feet above sea level. I've been on the sand here and I've been told by the artificial intelligence I'm 260 feet above sea level. Well, that's not possible, right? And then I was told I was 10 feet below sea level. Well, that's not accurate either. When we hear information that give contradictory perspectives, diametrically opposed, can't both be correct. They could both be wrong, to be intellectually honest. We don't know what we don't know. That includes me. There are things that I don't know yet. I may never know. One thing I do know, there aren't people upside down in relationship to me. That totally violates the reality of the world we live in. Whether you like it and or agree or believe it or not. There are things that we can absolutely know for sure. The world had a great flood, covered over the tops of all the mountains. We had 3 water sources mentioned in the book of Genesis. The floodgates of heaven, the windows of heaven, the fountains of the deep, and rain. The archaeological evidence of that is on my channel. Ron Wyatt discovered the ark in the mountains of Ararat. Now, I used to just take down videos that were deleted because the channel was removed. I've chosen to leave those there for now because it shows that channels are getting taken down for telling the truth. People have been killed for years for telling the truth. In fact, the original determiner of truth is, I believe, God. who authored Scripture through men. Then God took up human flesh, dwelt among us. I've known him as Jesus Christ most of my life. His Hebrew reference would be Yeshua. You can call him Yahweh. Call him whatever you want. The demons called him the Nazarene. They didn't even want to say the name Jesus or Yeshua. He also goes by the living word, the living water, the great I am, the Alpha and Omega. I am that I am. How about that? So what will you do with that information? That video that I have integrated into my live or my recording this morning talks about the artificial intelligence for good. I'm using it for good. You see, Satan will use who and what he can. He's limited. God uses it all, including Satan. That's the awesome reality of that. That's why I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. Now, I don't know if you can see the shark that just jumped out of the water, but I'm going to zoom in on him. He might be happy enough to do that again. So I'm zoomed in on the area where he came out of. I saw one do it last night, too. They call them spinner sharks. So you can call me anytime, 1-843-504-1776. If you should like a YouTube Truth sticker, you can send me a self-addressed stamped envelope. You could type it in a comment. You could type it in a Google search, see what you find if you want to. I'm very passionate about helping to rescue people from the enslavement that I was in, and that they may be in right now too. That's one of the reasons why I've got the digital audio Bible merged with the beauty of creation. You can look at it, listen to whatever you want. Yes, the Bible, we're all being programmed. How is your programming going? The programming I prefer is truth, is healthy nutrients for thinking, the renewing of the mind, healthy nutrients for the physiology, my body, my brain, and also to keep out the toxic stuff. I talk about it at length. Garbage in, garbage out. A lot of people know what computer hardware is, computer software. You're looking at some of the wetware. The human population is viewed as wetware from the perspective of artificial intelligence. The transpocalypse involves transgendering, transhumanism, the integration of technology and humanity. Welcome to the real world. That's what's going on. That's what's happening. You can send a self-addressed stamped envelope to 169 Cloverleaf Drive, Longs, South Carolina, 29568. If you want to meet me on the beach, call first so we'll know where to meet up. Thank you so much for your public and private encouragement. It means a lot. This is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. All right, so that was the end of my my P1000 recording. I believe I've nailed that for today. I think what I'll do is go ahead and zoom in one more time on the moon, take a picture. I've got all the data, date, time stamps of all my stuff. I'm assembling a case for the creator, the creation, researching reality. I've had enough of the science fiction. How about you? Had enough of that stuff? How about that? I know I have. So there you go. Thank you so much for your public and private encouragement.